I searched post-raid banter. It's really good. I don't want to look at that right now, man. Sarfang is not... All right, we'll do the Sarfang is not honorable after this, okay, guys? What is this? I think I know who this person is. I think I know him on... Wait, no, it's not Twitch. So Twitter? Oh, he streams on Mixer.
As we get closer and closer to summer and the release of WoW
Yeah,
Classic,
I know this guy.
there continues to be a lot of discussion in the community about how challenging the raid content will be. Many people have memories of vanilla raids being completely inaccessible for average players, with only the most hardcore guilds even setting foot
Not
into
because
the
they were too
legendary
hard,
40-man
though.
encounters, and only the very best players having those coveted epic items.
Yeah.
On the other hand, private server enthusiasts have been watching the vanilla content be
Enthusiasts.
min-maxed to
I love
death
it.
for years now. Private servers are loaded with full epic players, and in many cases, the PvE content on private servers is actually over-tuned compared to retail vanilla. Many servers have raised HP and armor values on bosses and trash mobs in an attempt to make the 14-year-old content a bit more challenging.
Really? Is that
and
true?
Nostalrius
Wow.
even used a progressive itemization system to make early raids as difficult as possible.
How'd that work?
Regardless of these factors, within a few weeks of Blackwing Lair releasing on Nostalrius, over 20 guilds had killed Nefarian,
Not
if my
too well.
memory serves me correctly. So, what will the PvE...
You know, actually, I wonder what the amount of guilds that were attempting Nefarian were, right? Because you obviously had like 20 guilds that were trying to do Nefarian, but how many guilds were actually trying to, you had a lot of guilds, but how many guilds were actually trying to do Nefarian? I wonder about that. Because I bet it probably wouldn't even be that many.
landscape actually look like on Classic. It's hard to
Yeah,
know because
21.
we don't have a lot of information regarding how Blizzard
19,
is going
the other
to
one was
tune
a
the
pug.
bosses. It
even
certainly
better.
seems like they plan to use the default values from retail vanilla in terms of resists, armor, parry chance, HP, and stuff like that. Regardless, one thing is certain. Bosses will die very quickly.
Obviously. Everybody knows this. There's no way that won't happen.
I can say with 100% confidence that the majority of servers will have at least one or two guilds full cleared, newly released raids on day one. This is just the reality of playing a 14-year-old game in a day and age
At least
when a
this guy's
simple Google
realistic.
search
I'm
can
glad
tell
about
you
that.
exactly how to kill a boss. World firsts and server firsts will definitely still matter, but the races will be very short and tight. I'll reference Nostalrius Blackwing Lair release one more time here. Less than 10 minutes separated Dream State's server first kill from our second place kill in Nope, and about a half dozen other guilds had full cleared the raid by the time we woke up the next day.
Wow, that's a hard raid.
This is obviously a far cry from the long and grueling world first races we've become accustomed to seeing in modern WoW.
Yeah, obviously.
It took Method nearly 9 days of constant raiding to achieve their
Oh,
world
God,
first mythic
dude.
Gahoon kill, and there were only 2 other
Oh,
guilds in
God.
the entire world that were even really in the race.
Yup.
Despite Battle for Azeroth's lack of popularity and the overall negative reception it has received from the community,
People love the
hundreds of
raids.
thousands of people have tuned in to watch these world first races, and it's been pretty compelling content, even for someone like me who's not actively playing the game. Method has proven that there is still a large audience for high-level PvE gameplay in 2019, but will that audience be...
I don't know if that's really true, because you're comparing, like, obviously there are some people. Watch the You Want to Be a Scarab board? Okay, okay. Like, watching the world first race is like an event in itself. I don't know if that necessarily proves that people want to see high-end PvE content. I think that just means that people want to see the world first race because it's the first time that they're going to see the boss die. I think that's very different.
interested in Classic, where the content isn't actually new? While the excitement of World First and Server First races will exist to some extent on Classic, it will be very short-lived. New bosses will drop in the blink of an eye simply because there will be hundreds of guilds that know exactly how to approach the raids on day one.
Fucking dumb.
But don't worry, this doesn't mean vanilla PvE can't be competitive and interesting in the long run. It will just be a different kind of competition. I'm talking, of course, about speedrunning.
This room behaves pretty weirdly. Justin's going to be opening up the map right here, which saves a little bit of time.
Man,
Because
I
the moment we
really...
enter this room, every room adjacent to this room starts loading. But
I don't know about this,
The
man.
door doesn't open until the other rooms finish loading.
Like,
So by opening up the map, you make that door open once it's finished loading instead of waiting for.
That's
other doors
crazy.
to
I had
finish.
no idea about
In
that.
2010, the world was introduced to Games Done Quick, a semi-annual speedrunning event to raise money for charity. A few years later, speedrun.com launched with the goal of providing one central place for speedrun records to be verified and archived. While people
Okay.
have been speedrunning games like Doom and Quake since the 1990s, and the Speed Demos archive has existed since 1998, it wasn't until around the launch of speedrun.com in 2014 that the concept really exploded in popularity and made it onto the radar of the mainstream gaming community.
okay.
Today, there are millions of fans hooked on watching the best runners in the world masterfully completing games. And coincidentally, some of the most popular titles for speedrunning are retro games like Super Mario 64 and
I don't know if this.
GoldenEye 007.
I'm really
This
not
is an
following
important
here.
fact to keep in mind, and one we will come back to later. Speedrunning's explosion in popularity happened right around the same time.
So here he's conflating two different things, right? He's conflating the popularity of a speedrunning event to the popularity of people participating in speedrunning, which are two separate things. And also, you could even divide that further by saying he's conflating the popularity of a speedrunning event to the popularity of speedrunning in general, which is much smaller. So I don't necessarily think this is true. I think that, yes, obviously some people are going to be excited by the idea of clearing a Blackwing layer in 33 minutes or whatever, however fast that they can clear it. But the vast majority of the player base is not going to be interested in that content. Now, does everybody want to watch a guild try to clear Nax in under an hour? Fuck yeah, that's awesome. But does everybody really care about doing that on a regular basis? No. It's just something whenever somebody does something new, people watch it and it's like, okay, that's cool. Now what else? What else is new? Right? I don't think this is a sustainable thing, and it's also not something that's accessible or appealing to the majority audience. Okay.
The vanilla private
All
server.
right, am I... do I true here? Is this a true or is this a true or what? Unless you get rewards? Yeah. Okay, all right, that's enough truce. All right, good.
Servers were experiencing a similar explosion in popularity. In the summer of 2013, the vanilla scene was heavily concentrated on the Phoenix Emerald Dream project, and European guild Team Plague was widely considered to be the best on the server. Competition and rivalries were fierce, but there wasn't really a way to objectively measure success until a really awesome guy named Dilatazu launched RealmPlayers.com, the first ever armory and statistics website for private servers. The community immediately embraced the Realm Players project, and a few months later,
Wow.
Dilatazu introduced Raid Stats, a Realm Players plugin that collected detailed parses for private server raids.
I'm trying to see if I could find... Guys. I don't see a rep paladin on that DPS meter. I really don't. I mean, like, I see... yo, McConnell, man, like, I really don't know about this whole thing where you were gonna play red. Like, because if you look at Holy, like, I mean, I'm really seeing a lot of Holy Paladins popping off, dude. And, I mean, if you want to respec, hey, man, like, you're gonna have a spot for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think McConnell can play Holy. It'll be fine, right? What about speedruns as in guilds trying to figure out how they can do the raids with less gear? No, I don't think that would be interesting. Anytime that people have to artificially handicap themselves, most people aren't compelled by that. Like, artificial handicaps are not compelling for the average player. That's my opinion. Let me go ahead and read this real quick. Me likey. Thank you very much, Mubasa, for the 15 months. I appreciate that, man. Only response is we'll see. I know you don't play private servers, but even playing with groups of retail refugees, I've not once been in a VC groups. It's not VC, dude. It's not VC, KJ. It's DM. Dead Minds. VC, you don't call it VC. It's Dead Minds. All right? Like Blizzard even confirmed this. Listen, Zach, like Mick Orivy and I, had this argument every day in Classic. He thought it was VC. I thought it was DM. It's DM. I'm sorry, dude. That's just a fact. No, it's BC group that wiped at least once. Entertain the idea that people suck, then sucking as a harsher punishment. I am not saying that people did not suck. And people don't suck now. I'm saying that they suck less than they did before. Okay? Have you did any chance of more IRL fast food videos? Yeah, I'm thinking about like what I want to do for IRL fast food. Sorry, I'll get off this tangent and get back to the video in a minute. What I want to do is I want to start every single time that a fast food restaurant brings out a new food, I want to go like maybe the end of my stream and drive over there and try out the food and like eat it on stream.
And uploaded them to the website. Features included a world boss kill tracker, a guild ranking list, and leaderboards for individual DPS and healing records.
Like it?
There was also a clear time leaderboard for each raid. Team Plague initially held the #1 spot, but at first this particular feature was largely ignored, and there wasn't too much discussion about speedrunning in the vanilla community. That all changed when North American guild Ride and Dirty put together an impressive BWL clear, breaking Team Plague's server record and claiming the #1 spot on the clear time leaderboard.
Truly
An
incredible.
infamous thread appeared on the Phoenix forums that was simply a screenshot of the leaderboard followed by a gif of a rapper throwing money into the air. Ride and Dirty members proceeded to spam the thread with similar gifs
it's
to
a
taunt
song,
Team
Ride and
Plague,
Dirty,
and the
okay.
thread quickly blew
got
up
it.
to become one of the most active posts ever on the forum. It didn't take long for Team Plague to plan their own maxed out speed run. They reclaimed the #1 spot and clapped back with a forum thread of their own. Within a few months, the vanilla community, which was small at the time, had full-blown speedrun fever.
I thought they were going to say full-blown something else.
Guilds became obsessed with finding ways to improve their clear times, and by the time Nostalrius released in early 2015, speedrunning had become one of the primary forms of competition within the vanilla scene. Nope held the BWL record on Nostalrius with a clear time of 32 minutes and 57 seconds.
This
After
trash
the
was
Nostalrius
hard. I remember
shutdown
we
and
wiped
its
on this in
revival
Project
as
70
Lightbringer,
or 60.
Progress achieved a 25-minute clear. And just a few months ago, longtime Vanilla Guild Vanguard from the Chronos server posted a new BWL world record, achieving a full clear in 20 minutes and 23 seconds. I'll include links.
Think about that, dude. 20-minute BWL clear. 20 minutes. That's fucking insane. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, in order to, I mean, like, because Razor Gore has got to be like 5 minutes of that, right? Like, how the fuck, I mean, you'd have to be fighting like 2 bosses at the same time. Like, if it wasn't like a whole private server video, I'd watch it. That's fucking insane. I really, really like that. Please find a video. No, yeah, I don't want to watch like the thing right there. That's my guild. Hey, dude, I'm in that guild too. Yeah, me too. Who else is in that guild? Okay, just a second. That's what I'm trying to play. Look, dude, let's go over here.
To all 3 of these impressive clears in the video description. Unfortunately, it's a bit pointless to compare clear times from different private servers, because stuff like mob HP, armor values, proc rates, and damage coefficients
different
can
every
vary
server.
quite a bit depending on the server.
Yeah, obviously.
Even the positioning of trash mobs is slightly different from server to server. There are entire segments of trash that can be skipped with invisibility potions on some servers, but due to differences in mob positioning and aggro ranges, this is not possible on all servers.
Do you know how you know this is a speedrun full of people that are serious? You want to know how you can tell? Half the raid is warriors. The more warriors you have, yeah, the better the better the raid's gonna be. Like that's how classic used to be, and that's how raiding should be now. Like you should be at least bringing like 6 warriors to a team, or to a fight. Like that's how it should be, as it should be exactly. And like watch this damage.
It's also obviously pointless to compare a clear time in BWL gear to a clear time in Nax gear.
Big
but
true.
These factors haven't stopped the vanilla speedrunning scene from becoming incredibly competitive. Once Classic comes out, and everyone is playing the exact same version of the game, the competition will only get more intense, and I for one cannot wait to see world-class guilds push speedrunning to the absolute limit.
I don't know if that's going to be as interesting for most people. Who's
Over
this
the
guy?
past 10 years, speedrunning has emerged as a super fun way of making retro games competitive. I'd be
The hell's he
willing to
doing?
bet that almost everyone watching this video has played through The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
You're
It's
goddamn
an
right.
absolute classic and has been around for 21 years. But even today, speedrunners are finding new ways to push the limits of the game. Just a few weeks ago, the Ocarina of Time world record was broken once again by Norwegian speedrunner Torje, posting a mind-blowing time of 17 minutes and 1 second. It's
Wow.
easy to see why fans of retro games have
God
fallen
damn.
in love with speedrunning. It creates endless replay value and ensures
took me
that
like 2 months.
competitively minded players always have something to work towards, even when playing 20-plus-year-old games that would be otherwise irrelevant. It's no coincidence that the vanilla community has also fallen in love with speedrunning, and you can rest assured that clear times will be one of the primary measuring sticks for hardcore guilds on Classic. If the idea of perfecting your run for a world record doesn't get you excited to step back into vanilla raids, then I don't know what will. Like I mentioned, once we are all playing the exact same version of the game with the same values on trash mobs, the same mob positions, the exact same boss mechanics, the same proc rates on items, and the same rules in terms of stacking buffs and consumables, the intensity of competition when it comes to speed clearing raids will surely reach a fever pitch. Getting a server first kill on Classic will surely be an accomplishment any guild can be proud of, but as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the races will be short.
The server first kill is it's an attendance award. Were you there? Yep. Okay, kill the boss. Easy. All right, there you go. Right, that's basically what the server first is. Do you guys like? So I think that he's making a bit of a compelling argument. Do you think that this is actually true? Do you think speedrunning is going to be as compelling and interesting and the meta for like classic WoW? A lot of people are saying, so like people are like half and half. A lot of people are saying yes. Some people are saying no. It's really hard to say. It will happen, but not the meta. Yeah, I mean, I think that you're seeing like people that are leveling all the way up to 60 on a private server and everything. These are people that are really, really serious about the game. And they're like, it's like Mythic Plus. Like who does Mythic Plus 15s? Like how many people are actually pushing above Mythic Plus 15? Almost nobody. Like there's maybe like a handful of people. I'd say maybe a couple of thousand people. I mean, like I don't really know. Like I'd have to actually, how could I check that? Maybe I'd be able to look at it on Raider.io, but I bet it's probably less than 10,000 people that are actively pushing like Mythic Plus 15s and above that. And a lot of other people don't really care about it either. So maybe it could be interesting, but like the amount of like interest in like just watching random Mythic Plus runs is pretty low. Like the MDI does well, but everything else is not really as far up there.
And tight. I can guarantee that clear times will be just as meaningful as server first kills, if not more so.
Oh,
Chasing in
a handful, yeah, I mean out of millions of people is 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 is a handful out of millions. I would absolutely say that, yeah.
individual DPS and healing records is also incredibly addictive for PvE-minded min-max players. That just about does it for my thoughts on PvE and speedrunning. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Classic WoW content just like this. If you have any questions or comments, hop in my Discord and join the Classic WoW conversation. And don't forget to check out my Twitch channel so you can watch me attempting some speedruns this summer. I've also been streaming a bit on Mixer in the meantime if you want to stop by and see some more of my gameplay or just say hi. Until next time, I'm OG, and I'm counting down the days till Classic just like all of you. See you next time.
I don't know why people would do Mixer. Here's how I feel about Mixer. It doesn't have Twitch Prime, so I'm not going to stream on Mixer.